Testing. 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 Testing.
Hi, yo, this is RTTI in New York City. I got Not a Thunder in the building, and we're going to have a little change up because Nappy at Roots was supposed to be on the first segment, as we already had planned, but I tried to reach out to him, and I couldn't get through. I'm pretty sure it's because of these motherfuckers playing games. They've been trying to hack me over here as well, and from what I understand, Not a Thunder is getting in some, sabotage business on his end over there in the UK as well. But no matter, no worries. We're going to overcome that like we usually do, circumventing bullshit and shutting the shit down, regardless of whatever these fucks trying to do. We're going to get it done. So, with that being said, I'm going to pass the floor right over to Not a Thunder so he can key in on what's been going on with him. If anyone's been paying attention to his videos lately, y'all would know that he's being harassed by the Bobbies, which is the UK police out there. Not a Thunder, whenever you're ready, bro.
Yeah, so this week, the first thing I heard of it was the police went to my family's house. They obviously, because my real name is not on my channel, they went to my family's house asking about me, claiming they wanted to speak to me about my videos and they were concerned for me. So, I told my family to say, I don't want to speak to them, and they told them that. About a day or two passed, then at 8:30 p.m., two police officers came to my door. I heard knocking before I saw who it was. I went to the door. They were just knocking on the door. And then they kept knocking, but they did not say a word. They did not say, "Hello, it's the police, can we speak to you?" They didn't say anything. It was like they were trying to make me come to the door and take me by surprise. But, I could see them through the top window. So, also weirdly, it was like they had a box, and some delivery drivers wear high visibility jackets. So I was feeling like they were pretending to be delivery guys trying to trick me. Because if you're looking through the window of the front door, because this door I have, it has like frosted glass, so it would look like, a delivery guy. But they didn't figure I'd look through the top window. So, I got my phone and I filmed, and then they just walked off. And the next day, another officer came. They'd phoned my family again, wanting to speak to me, saying they were concerned for me or something, or someone had raised a complaint or a concern or something like that over something in my videos. But they were basically acting like I was mentally ill or even suicidal or risk of harming myself or other people, which is ridiculous, I've never self-harmed. I've never talked about killing myself or anything like that. I've never attempted suicide ever. So this is obviously definitely a intimidation tactic that's being used in response to my videos and what I'm exposing, namely this illegal PSYOP program that we're all having to deal with. And we know they use the police to try and intimidate us. So basically that happened. Another guy came. He was more reasonable than the other ones, but he, I told him I don't have to speak to you, and this is harassment. I don't want anything to do with the police. They're acting like I have to speak to them when I don't have to speak to them. Nothing obligates me to speak to them by law. So if they keep coming to my door, it's harassment. You know what I mean? There's no reason for them to come to my door. There's no indication of harm from me to anyone or myself. So why are they coming to my door? But this is how they try to silence the ice when we're exposing this kind of stuff going on. If we can't suppress us and suppress our communication, like messing with the phone or the computers, they'll resort to the intimidation tactics. That's basically what happened this week. I haven't had any return. I hope they don't return, but who knows? But yeah, that's basically what's been happening, and it's all to try and intimidate me, being silent about what these people are doing. So today, I had to pick up a new electric bike. My old bike stopped working when I was out, so I picked one up. I was targeted at the bike shop. A car pulled in. It had 888 in the number plate. On the way there was a red Porsche with, I think it was 333 in the number plate. So they started using that again, and then on the way back, I think there was another car with 622. So these triple number combination things they like to use to target me. Combinations of 3 of the same number. It's an ongoing thing that's been going on about 2 years. They've also been using the DSX thing, JC Denton. I saw a car today with a plate that said Denton. So they're still trying to. It's like these people, they don't know when to let a joke go because it's a joke, right? It's not annoying me. It's just pathetic to me. This DSX shit has been going on about a year, where they've been, having avatars show up on recommended videos to me with JC Denton on there. So this is like a running joke from these fools. So even today they had a car with Denton. It's like, fuck you people, man. It's like, yeah, I mentioned DSX in a call about a year ago. You're still gonna reference that. You're still gonna reference that same thing. Get the fuck out of here, man, with this bullshit. You say something?
No, I think that's Nappy. Nappy, do me a solid and mute your background for a second, man. Because it's coming out of the call.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Alright, so yeah, basically, they're doing that. Of course, the next door neighbours, they're involved in my targeting, having this stupid, party last night, and it's all fake, it's all contrived, and it's designed to try and, annoy me. So they were playing music in the morning, this morning, so I just played my own. I got back to the house today. As soon as I got in, I heard, like that, they're playing drum and bass music. The thing is, it's like, they only played it for a short time. They played it for maybe a minute, and then it stopped. So I'm like, why would you do that? I guess they wanted to do it when I got home. Also, as soon as I got back, the neighbors turned up, they started driving out, which happens 9 times out of 10. When I get home, especially after seeing my family, these perps in the houses, mainly the ones in the house in front of my house, they'll be leaving in a car. This morning, as soon as I went outside, all my neighbors left in cars at the same time. The guy on the right side, who I nicknamed the Raw, the ones on the front house, and some other ones, they all left in their cars. This shit, man. These people, they do this kind of stuff, man. Is it okay to read a couple of articles? Hello? Oh, hello?
Yeah, we're still here, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, is it okay to read a couple of articles? I got a few about Elon Musk.
Absolutely, go ahead, man.
I'll just unlock the computer. I saw this on BBC News. I just want to show you how demented these people are. So this headline is called Neuralink. Elon Musk unveils pig with chip in his brain. So I'll read what it is. Elon Musk has unveiled a pig called Gertrude with a coin-sized computer chip in her brain to demonstrate his ambitious plans to create a working brain-to-machine interface. We already know they've done this, right? Because they experiment on people with this stuff, and TIs are targets for this, but they're acting like they haven't, of course, because this stuff is classified. So, he says it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires, and also, we all know they've gone past the wired stage. Billionaire entrepreneur said, the startup Neuralink applied to launch human trials last year. The interface could allow people with neurological conditions to control phones or computers with their mind. Mr. Musk argues such chips could eventually be used to help cure conditions such as dementia, Parkinson's disease, and spinal injuries. But the long-term ambition is to usher in, this is where I show you how demented these people are, right? But the long-term ambition is to usher in an age of what Mr. Musk calls superhuman cognition, in part to combat artificial intelligence so powerful that he says it could destroy the human race. So you really can't make this stuff up, right? He says we need to merge with machines because it's to combat artificial intelligence so powerful it could destroy the human race. Well, why create the artificial intelligence in the first place? You know what I mean? It's just so stupid. So Gertrude was one of 3 pigs in pens that took part in Friday's webcast demo. She took a while, and this is just like that Delgato when he put, you know, this is nothing new, right? That Delgato guy who put chips or whatever in a bull's head. You know, this is the same shit, man. Gertrude was one of 3 pigs in pens that took part in Friday's webcast demo. She took a while to get going, but when she ate and sniffed straw, I don't know why the hell it's a sniff straw, that doesn't make sense, but anyway, that's what it says. The activity showed up on a graph tracking her neural activity. She then mostly ignored all the attention around her. Oh, I think whoever's typed this has botched it. It says the professor in her brain sends wireless signals indicating neural activity in her snout when looking for food. Why, you know, that doesn't really make sense, but that's what it said. Mr. Musk said the original Neuralink device, revealed just over a year ago, had been simplified and made smaller. It actually fits quite nicely in your skull. It could be under your hair and you wouldn't know. Alright? We already know they've perfected this with the chips, you know, and all that stuff. Founded in 2017, Neuralink was to work hard to recruit scientists, something Mr. Musk is still advertising. The device the company is developing consists of a tiny probe containing more than 3,000 electrodes attached to flexible threads thinner than a human hair, which can monitor the activity of 1,000 brain neurons. Head of the webcast, Harry Benjamin at the University of Pennsylvania's Coding Lab, told the BBC News that the real stumbling block for the technology could be the sheer complexity of the human brain. We already know they've accomplished this. Right. This is bullshit, you know. We can prove it, you know, with the documents that they have already accomplished this stuff. Once they have the recordings, Neuralink will need to decode them, and will someday hit the barrier that is our lack of basic understanding of how the brain works, which is a lie because we already know they have decoded the human brain, no matter how many neurons they record from. Decoding goals and movement plans is hard when you don't understand the neural code in which those things are communicated. Right, so I'll just skip up to the next one. It just shows how demented these people are. You know, they're talking about we need to merge with machines to combat AI. Yeah, this is a different one. So, just to show you the wording, right? The wording of this just shows you the mentality of these people. Elon Musk reveals brain hacking plans. Brain hacking, right? Neuralink, a company set up by Elon Musk to explore ways to connect the human brain to a computer interface, has applied to US regulators to start trialing its device on humans. The system has been tested on a monkey that was able to control the computer with its brain, according to Mr. Musk. The firm said it wanted to focus on patients with severe neurological conditions. But we know we're the test subjects to this shit. Ultimately, Mr. Musk envisions a future of superhuman cognition. This is the bullshit. This is the, they try to say we're crazy. Listen to this bullshit, right? There's merging with AI in big letters. The device the firm has developed consists of a tiny probe. Anymore, I think I already read this. The same as the one, 3,000 electrodes, thinner than a human hair. The advantage of this system is to make it able to target very specific areas of the brain, which would make it surgically safer. It would also be able to analyze recordings using machine learning, which would then work out what type of stimulation for the patient. Neuralink did not explain how the system translated brain activity or how the device was able to stimulate brain cells. Not like somebody will have this incredible neuron lace and will take over people's brains. You're hearing this shit. They already done that shit. They already done that shit with the technology. Right? It will take a long time. It's already here. By CIA. But he said those who choose it, the system will ultimately allow for symbiosis with artificial intelligence. You're hearing this bullshit. Symbiosis. So he's on about us merging with computers, basically, and artificial intelligence. And yet we're called crazy, right? Yeah, this guy is saying we need to merge with computers. We need to have a computer in our head. Not only that, an AI, which is a artificial intelligence. It'd be like having another person in your head, or a computer. Previously, Mr. Musk has suggested that AI could destroy the human race. Well, dipshit, obviously you're going to destroy it if you merge with it. It's going to destroy you if you merge with AI, isn't it? Even in a benign AI scenario, we will be left behind. Said, I doubt that. With a highly bandwidth brain-machine interface, we would go along for the ride and effectively have the option with merging with AI. Connecting the brain to an interface would create a new layer of superintelligence in the human brain, something that people already have via their phones. Okay, so if you say staring at your screen like a zombie is fucking intelligence, okay. Later, during a question and answer session, you revealed that the device Neuralink is working on has been tested on monkeys, the animal able to control a computer with its brain, according to Mr. Musk. Now the firm is putting together a submission to start human testing. That's the same shit it said in the other one. Neuralink released a paper to coincide with the announcement, but it's not been peer-reviewed, something that is generally seen as crucial part of any scientific breakthrough. Pratika De Silva, an AI researcher at the Frontier Development Lab, a partnership with NASA, defended the event and said the technology described by Neuralink is exciting because it's significantly less invasive. Whatever. The plans they describe will require many years of work to deal with technical and ethical challenges. Bullshit, they've already got it, already know. But the technology could be a big step in work. They're trying to say this is going to help treat Parkinson's and all this shit. Well, he's coming out with some bullshit like, we need to merge with AI to stop our annihilation. And yet, he's saying he's put on a pedestal. He's put on a pedestal whilst we're labelled as mentally ill, we're labelled as crazy, yet this guy's put on a pedestal and we're supposed to worship him or something. This is the same fucker that sent us, a car into space. We're labelled as crazy, right? I just want to put this in perspective here, man. But, that's the two articles. There's two other things I want to mention that need to be spoken about as well, which is not to do with this. One, they're releasing a load of genetically engineered mosquitoes in Florida, and these things are also something to do with Bill and Melinda Gates and their foundation, so obviously be aware of that. I found that on a Call for an Uprising's video. And another thing I found out as well is that, nuclear bombs were used in Yemen, tactical nuclear weapons, namely the B-61 Model 12, I think, which is a bunker-busting, low-yield, variable-yield bomb. And you can see videos on YouTube of that going off. And there's one where you can see it. I'll find the videos and post them in the links, but you can see lightning after the bomb has been detonated, which is only something you get with nuclear weapons. And there's another one where you can see interference on the phones they've been recorded on. So, you know, when these people say they haven't used nuclear weapons in war since Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they're lying, man. Like, you can see the mushroom cloud, and you can see all that shit, man. Those are two things I wanted to add. But yeah, man, that's pretty much everything I wanted to discuss.
Appreciate you, Nate. Wanted to ask you right quick, man. Do you happen to have the links to those two joints from the Call for an Uprising and the other second one that you had mentioned, as far as the articles about the nuclear weapons being used in Yemen and shit like that? You got them?
Yeah, the videos. There's no articles on it, but there's videos showing it. These are from several years ago, but I can find the video for Call for an Uprising and those other videos, and obviously I've got those articles on Neuralink.
Right. I mean, I already got stuff up on Neuralink on other calls, but it's always good to keep them there just to refresh people's memory. So what I wanted to ask you was, could you send them to me today? So that way I could just put them in the description box right away.
Yeah, I'll be able to email them. I mean, if you get them is another thing, because, you know, these people are going to intercept.
No, I mean, you already know how we do, man. Send them like 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, we'll just send about 10 or 20 if we have to, man. To get
exactly. That's how we do, man. Circumvention, man. That's the key word here. So, Nate, you don't want to add anything else in regards to what's been going on with the Bobbies out there, you know, fucking with you and shit like that, trying to harass you by showing up. They're trying to sensitize you to them showing up each time, and that's how it's supposed to agitate you and get you the last shot and shit. I mean, you know that already, but I'm just saying, for people who don't know, that are listening in, that is the key point of that. It's a acute form of harassment, psychological harassment, where they sensitize you to that visual stimuli where you see them and they're showing up unannounced, knocking on the door, talking about a wellness check and shit, like if you know, mentally ill and shit, or have mental health issues. If they do end up having mental health issues, and I'm talking about genuine EI/TIs, because these motherfuckers caused it, that they can cause mental illness with the crap that they pull on us, the organized stalking, the psychological operations, the frequency weapons, all that shit, man. Through time, wear and tear, they can cause that. They've created a business out of that shit. But in any case, man, I'm going to move on to Nappy Head Roots. Nappy, if you're still in the building, brother, man, unmute yourself. I'd like to give you the floor so you can give people a quick synopsis, man, on what's been going on with you and why you haven't been able to live stream and upload videos, man. Apparently YouTube is on some serious bullshit, man, with him as well. Nappy, you there?
Yeah. Yeah, man, they've been messing with me kind of tough, bro. They blocked me up from uploading. They blocked me on a couple other sites as well. Not a couple other sites, but another site. And, you know, just all the vehicular and, all the vehicular, bullshit that. And it's getting bad, man. It's getting bad. And, you know, it's to the point to where, you know, I'm, you know, not saying that I will do anything, but, you know, there's gonna come a time, like, you know, when a motherfucker wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, man, and it's not gonna be good for me or them.
I definitely hear that, man. I know what you're talking about, you know what I mean? Definitely understand that feeling. So, yo, Nap, so basically, if you can, man, if you could, like, focus on what ended up happening with you last with these people on YouTube, man, that had them take you off and ban you for 2 weeks, where you can't upload and you can't live stream and shit, you know what I'm saying? I know that. Night of Thunder knows about that, too, you know what I'm saying? They've done that to us. So now they went back and did it to you now, behind some bullshit. with some lady that was apparently perping you by doing the booty bandit shit and bending over in your visual line of sight. And what ended up happening, you already know. Nappy, take the floor, brother, so people can understand what happened exactly.
Yeah, when she came, the little lady came, she bent over, pants, like had her pants down. And when she lifted back up, you know, her front piece was showing. And they deleted, they took me down for 30 days. Whoever that was came back to pick her up though. I think that's who got that shit deleted, man. Because you could tell, like, that girl was like an MK Ultra or some shit, man. She was nutty as shit. And, you know, you could tell when she took off walking and shit. And then when he went back to pick her up, it looked like she was going to the car, and then, you know, all of a sudden she started walking away. So, you know, I don't know what the deal is. I know my channel should be up in like 30 days. Or I should be able to upload. I should be able to upload within the next 30 days.
That was going to be my follow-up question. That, like, when are you going to be able to finally live stream and upload?
Yeah, it's probably the next 30 days. Next 30 days.
Wait, you said the next 30 days or 20 days?
30 days, I believe. 30 days.
Oh, I thought it was 2 weeks.
No, it's 30 days.
So I must have heard you wrong, because I remember when we spoke, you had said that they banned you for 2 weeks. You couldn't live stream and you couldn't upload and stuff.
No, the first time they banned me for 2 weeks.
Okay.
The very first time they banned me was for 2 weeks, and then this one is 30 days.
Okay.
Okay. You know, that's if you get, I believe, 3 strikes it is, that you're kicked off for good. I gotta go back to 2%.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why, you know, EI/TIs that are on YouTube, genuine ones, man, they got channels, gotta be cautious with that, man, because they're looking for every and any reason to shut our channels down. You know, that strike, 3 strikes you out, bullshit, they're hitting hard with that, man. And, you know, you just gotta be aware of what you're uploading and shit, and just be careful, man, because they will find any excuse to snipe our channels down. You already know, man, damage control is real up on YouTube, man. For the last, I would say year or so, these motherfuckers have been hitting hard with that shit. Maybe even a little more than a year.
Since that new CEO came in.
Yo, you sound far away, and I can't hear you, man.
Yeah, sorry, it's a loudspeaker. Since that new CEO came in, can't remember her name. Like a thing with a W, W-O-Z, something.
Did you get closer, bro? Cause I don't know.
Yeah, hang on, I'll put it on. I'll speak.
Yeah, since that new CEO came in, what's her name? Like a strange.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. No, but I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean, don't you? The one who.
Yeah. The Jowski, some shit like that.
Yeah, like an Eastern European sounding name.
Right, Polish, Eastern European, something.
Yeah, that's what first came to mind, like Polish or Russian or something.
Right. No, but you're absolutely right. She came over and took over the YouTube scene, man. That's how it's gotten, man. But going back to what Nappy was talking about, yo, Nap, man, so the video that you posted last was Demon Perp, right? And I remember being on the phone with you while that shit was happening in real time, man. What do you recall was going on there, man? Because I seen the video, but in real time, that must have been like an experience, like, yo, fucking this, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was this and shit, man. Fucking got demonic eyes and all that. So what happened there? Because that was the last video that you got to upload and whatnot. So they took down the other one for obvious reasons and shit, and that's what they used to ban you. But then the last one, what do you think that was about? You think that was like a subliminal shit? You know how they be doing us and shit, man. Like, what was your interpretation on that?
With the girl?
The demon perp. The last video you uploaded.
With the girl?
Yeah.
Not the bike dude, right?
No. Not the bike dude. The black female at the end, the most recent video that you uploaded.
Oh, yeah, man, they're so kooky, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's up with these people no more, man. Like, they're really fucking wicked out. I don't know if I was supposed to be, like, attracted to that shit because I haven't had sex in so long for, her to pull up her pants like that. Like, I don't know, like, what being the minds of these fucking people, man, but...
Hold up, man. That wasn't what I was referring to. I wasn't referring to when that female was bending over and stuff like that, and, her vagina was showing this shit when she pulled it down. I wasn't talking about that one. I thought about your last video, the demon perp. Remember the one that...
Oh, yeah. I believe that.
Evil look in her eyes and shit like that?
Yeah. It's the same. It was the same area. Her and that other girl were actually the same, so. They both had that fucking, like, demonic look. I don't know, like, they had a people look on her. And they weren't there. Like, mentally weren't there, so I don't know if that shit was prepared or something, but the way that girl made that face and just the way she looked and shit, like, people don't do that shit. Like, people can't do that shit like that if it's not real. Like, the way she was looking and shit, that was real. Like, her face was off. She was mentally, something was fucked up in her head.
That's what I was going to ask you, Nat. Do you think she was mentally ill, or you think that she was just fronting, like she was instructed to try to act all crazy and shit? You know how they also, do these perps too?
You can tell when they're. You can tell. Like I know maybe not all of them, but I can tell like some of them. Like, and that shit right there was really fucking crazy, man. Either from fucking drug high, a long fucking period of being on drugs, or fucking whatever the fuck she's into, man. But that shit wasn't normal.
Right. I hear that. Well, Nat, man, in regards to what you plan on doing, man, like, what if you can't upload your videos, hypothetically speaking, of, hopefully that doesn't happen, obviously, but do you got a plan B? Because you had mentioned something about other channels or other social media sites haven't allowed you to upload either. What's up with that?
Right. YouTube, it hasn't let me upload. I'll have to go back there and see if it's uploaded. But, yeah, I haven't been able to upload since I uploaded that one. I uploaded 3,000 to there because I can't upload to YouTube. So I uploaded that one and that one successfully. And everyone else thought that after that one, so I gotta see what's up with that thing.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add on this particular call, Nat? What I'm going to do is I'm going to add that last video that you uploaded into the description box on this call. And if you want anything else that you want to add to that, man, you got the floor, Nat.
I was in case anybody's out there and listening and shit. If anything happens to go on, like if anything happens with me, and I'm not saying it is, but you never know. You might look on the news one day and fucking they say some fucked up shit. Just pay attention to my fucking videos And pay attention to how many times I fucking tried to get away from these people. How many times I fucking just pop up. No matter where I go, like, they just fucking pop up. Just pay attention to that shit. Then you fucking don't fucking do that. Because when we say that this fucking program, it's not like you can just ignore it, because this shit is slapping you in the face. This shit is slapping you in the face every fucking day. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, when you go take a shit, when you go piss, when you shower, when you're in the bedroom doing whatever you do in the bedroom, like these people are fucking watching you and fucking jumping through your fucking head or some shit. Not saying that they've jumped through mine. I haven't experienced it, but a lot of people, a lot of people experience it. But, you know, like, people are gonna have to fucking wake up, man. As humble as I'm trying to be, and I've been going through this shit for 7 years. It just feels like I'm holding on and I'm driven, but it just feels like, you know, I'm not. It's gonna come to a point to where, like, I don't think I would be as accepting as I have been, because, you know, they're recreating their targeting, because I'm not letting that bullshit get to me now. When they see that I don't let it get to me, they start working on my vehicle, start trying shit with my physical and shit, and, you know, that's my survival, it's my life. So, you know, like I said, man, I try and, you know, try and be humble about this shit, try and get away from these motherfuckers, man, and they just pop up. So, again, I'm not saying I'm going to do anything, but, you know, just in case anything does happen, you see some shit on the news or whatever, you know, just pay attention to the videos. I'm not asking for nobody's fucking help. I'm not asking for none of that shit. You know, I'm just saying pay attention to the fucking videos, man, and see how these fucking police are orchestrating this fucking bullshit, and they just fucking, you know, they get away with it like it's fucking, you know, the same way they shoot one of your fucking relatives in the face and get away with it. The same bullshit games they play with the fucking sweeping shit under the rug or placate you. It was probable cause and all that fucking bullshit. The same fucking tactics they use in that are the same fucking tactics they use when they fucking target us and shit. They act like they don't know what the fuck is going on, but they do. So, again, man, people need to stop taking this shit as a joke, man. For real, man, because this is just, you know, this is just test run. You feel me? This is a test run. It's like a quiet civil war right now. They got citizens fighting against each other right now in a quiet civil fucking war. And people are too stupid to even recognize that, like, you feel me? But, yeah, man, that's pretty much all I have to say, man.
Appreciate you, Nappy. You know, from your mouth to God's ears, man. You know, it's most definitely a highly relevant subject, man, that people need to pay attention to, man. You know what I'm saying? And what you said about, you know, people that are listening in, keep continuing to peep your videos, man, when you get to upload and whatnot, and see how little by little the shit escalating more and more and more, and how you trying to be and stay as humble as you can, but it's, you know, everybody got a breaking point, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel you on that, Nat. Just try to maintain your focus, man, and maintain who you are, you know what I'm saying? Because that's something that they're trying to steal from each and every one of us, because they can't. create or have what we have originally within us. And I believe it's a secret envy within them to continuously do this shit to most TIs because of a reason that resembles that right there with what I said. You know what I mean? So just try to stay as positive and strong as you possibly can. You've been for like over 7 years, man. So I believe in you, and I know that people who follow you and your channel also believe that in you, man. You gotta remain strong. That young lady, man, that you put me up on through the link, I checked out her video, man. That shit infuriated me first and foremost, man, because it's like, damn, man, how they gonna do this young sister like this, man? You know what I mean? Like, just with the B2K, man. Yo, that shit is real, dog. That shit is fucking as real as the voice that you're hearing right now speaking. These certain TIs that have that happen to them where it's electronically induced into their mind. Can you picture that? Some shit you can't turn off, man. And throughout the day, they just randomly fucking say fucked up, psychological put downs and shit like that. You know what I mean? Hateful shit. You know what I mean? And she's a strong sister though, because if she's still ticking and she's also a mother from what I heard, it's like, that shows right there her tenacity, you know what I'm saying? Her relevance on this planet. There's a reason why she's still here. God bless that sister. I hope she's persevering and maintaining, man, because that shit right there is no joke. You know what I'm saying? What I'm going to do is I'm going to add that link that Nappy sent me. By the way, Nap, thanks for sending me that link, man, because I have never heard of that young lady, man. And when I heard that shit, and that shit made me, like, really upset, man. Also saddened me, man, because it's like, what can you do? You can't help them. It's like, what can you tell them to help them out? You would like to suggest something, but you don't got nothing to say, to help them. So that shit frustrates the shit out of me, man. So it's like, damn, man. It's a fucked up situation. That's why this call is so important. I keep, reiterating that because it is, what I'm saying, trying to educate people and put people up on what's going on, man. You know what I'm saying?
And though I don't know what she like, but the way she describes I've seen it before, like, when people overly try to fucking be a female and they have that, like, fucking, that real loud fucking, like, they're trying to be a female so hard, like, they have that annoying, loud, ongoing fucking bullshit, like, talk, man. And that's what she's, like that, she's fucking experiencing. That's fucked up, man. All day in your head like that. That is
seriously fucked up, man. Some shit that you can't control to turn off, man. That shit is deep. I have a version of V2K. My version is my own voice talking to me. Shit, it's not an actual other person's voice. It's my own voice, the voice that I hear when I read a book. And gets me to go and do certain things that I didn't recognize as such before because I didn't know the existence of the technology. That's why it's so important that people educate themselves on this technology and know that it's real. It exists. It's been existing. They've been using this shit since the fucking 50s, from what I understand. And they've been perfecting it on people like us ever since. Right? So I'm just going to say this, man. I'm definitely gonna try to do my best to have people look into this stuff for themselves, man. Like I said, I'm gonna put the link of that young lady's latest video for what Nappy graciously sent me, man, because I had no idea this young lady even was on YouTube. I had no idea that she was talking about stuff like that, man, but I'm glad she is. I hope she's holding it down. And just understand, man, that we got to continue doing this, man, as far as exposing, educating, and continuing to persevere, man, is what we got to continue doing here. You know what I'm saying? Nappy, if you can, brother, can you elaborate a little bit more on your status, man, as far as like what's been going on, for the most recent thing? Like, what was the latest thing that happened to you with these fuckers, like today? Anything else that we know already the deal? You know what I'm saying? It's like a loop back and forth. You know what I mean? But Just to keep shit fresh and documented, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Other than the fucking walking around our vehicle, I have basically, I haven't really noticed that. You know, I got several fucking doors and things, like fucking fucking accident that fucking door. Like, they're not recording things, but the thing, like, that's the thing right there, like, really, they're real white, the car, it's all perfect.
Yo, Nat, do me a solid. Try to speak into the mic because they're doing something to your voice, bro.
Yeah, man. So they just been beating me up, and that's another reason why, like, I'm not getting cover none of that bullshit up no more, because you know a lot of it is that it's deliberate. So when something does happen to these people, man, and it's documented just in case they try and fucking figure that shit out. I know once it gets to the impound or whatever, they'll try and fucking scratch you, they'll make it look like some fucking normal wear and tear and shit. That's why it's been documented. But, yeah, man, they just, I do a check on it like every week. So, I definitely, like, and they, man, in the past week, though, they've definitely put some work in on it, so.
Like what, Nat?
All at the edges of my door, they took a key or something and just, you know, scraped all the way down. So it's like chipping down the door, but at the very, very, like, you know, it's chipped at the top, at the very, like, top of the door. And they trying to hit it in places they don't think I'm going to notice it for a while.
Crafty motherfuckers, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
That it, Nat?
Huh?
That it?
Yeah. Yeah. But see, this is the thing, man. This is the reason why, like, I think something really bad is going to happen, man, because, you know, the more and more they do it, I just think to myself, like, damn, man, these people are fucking rich. They got houses. They're fucking living off harassing me. And on top of the money that they already got is shit. And they want to fucking come fucking fuck with my shit. I'm not doing nothing to them, you know. I'm not even fucking, you know, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, you know, general assistance or anything like that, but I'm not on welfare. I don't get no fucking state assistance, so they can't even say that I'm fucking taking their tax money and shit, you feel me? So they have no fucking purpose or reason to be touching on my shit like that, you feel me?
Absolutely. Totally understandable. That you have every right to feel the way you do, man. Indignation is definitely merited, man. Got you. Keep hanging in there, brother. Keep hanging in there. At this point, I'd like to welcome Nigel Nicholson in the building. He got the third segment, man. Nigel, whenever you're ready, you got the floor, brother.
All right, man. Thanks. Just want to give a recap of my targeting, man, which has been absolutely, you know, as usual. You know, there's nothing more that I can say I haven't already said, except just to, you know, go through what I went through, you know, this week. All right, so they have been really, really stepping up the microwave on me and the kids and my family. And to where, you know, it's like for example, Friday night, I left Pam's house to go home. And I went to the bus stop. And literally, I stood at the bus stop for over an hour and a half before the bus would come. Meanwhile, there were multiple buses going the opposite direction. Okay? And I had left Pam's house around 10 to 11. Actually, I'm sorry. After 10. Actually, after 10. It's going on 11, right? And that bus didn't come until like 12:30, right? Then, instead of going to the other bus stop that I would normally take, because the first bus took so long to come, I figured, this is retaliation for them, retaliation from them, because again, their psychological campaign didn't quite pan out as they had hoped. So whenever it doesn't, then they will retaliate one from another. And because, again, having to stand out there for a long time, and basically there was nobody at the bus stop until I was out there for like a whole hour. And this is a Friday night now. There's almost somebody at the bus stop. For some reason, there's nobody at that bus stop. I'm standing there, and this how they use music. So this car pulls up next to the bus stop, playing the music, some rap song talking about run on the F-er run and all this bullshit. I got it all on tape. I videotape all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So the song was like run mother F-er run or whatever. I'm like, okay, here we go again. So when the bus came, got on the bus, and I got off at another stop so I could catch another bus, right? Which is the 46 bus. I usually take the 17 because it pushes me closer to home. If I take the 46, I have to walk like a block and a half, right? Whereas the 17 will put me off right around the corner from there. So I'm waiting for the next bus now, okay? So they started with the campaign, the noise campaign. First with the fire trucks. No, I'm sorry, not the fire truck, the ambulance, right? So with the ambulance, and then they had a helicopter flying above, man, that circling around and shit, right? So recording that whole shit too. While that was going on, there was a guy at the bus stop who they had sent to target me while I was waiting. And these two women come, and of course they have to have the very loud conversation, because again, this is indirect subliminal threats and messages, right? When they start having louder conversation, which I don't need to hear. I'm standing a few feet away from you. You ain't got to be that damn loud. The person you talk with is right next to you. Why? You know what I'm saying? But this is what they do. So then after the helicopter passed by, a police van creeped slowly on the next block up now, going across, right? Then they're slick. He turns on his lights, not the siren now, but his lights. And when he did that, the guy that they had at the bus stop trying to target me, now he walks in front of me, puts his hand behind his back, and look in the direction the police car was going. You know what I'm saying? So do you see how they send these subliminal messages? And I've talked about this with the police, these civilians, and so they will be walking in front of me, like the police will be coming, civilian will be coming towards me, the police behind them. The civilian will look at me, put their finger in their ears, and the police walking towards me will police officer will put his hands on his sidearm, right? Again, subliminal threats. This is what they do. This is how they try to get away with these types of criminal acts, right? So anyway, that other bus took about 40 minutes to come. So down there took me over 2 hours, right? Which normally should take me, even when they have me waiting for so long. I've never waited that long. And there's a reason why they did that. The reason why they did that, because if I'm standing at the bus, I have my book bag, I take my book bag off just because of my back. So when I got home, for standing that long outside, right, standing that long, like my back was killing me. I had to take a muscle relaxer when I got in the house. I took a muscle relaxer last night, and I take a muscle relaxer tonight because my back still hurts, right? So this is what they do in here. I'm not sure if you can hear the upstairs, because they have a neighbor upstairs now, banging on the floor. I don't know if you hear that, but banging on the floor because they're listening to my conversation, right? Or because they're trying to deter me from talking about stuff. Because they want, they want to get away with it. This is what the curse of Brazilian is all about. These people who is the architect and those who participate in these things, like the police, even your family member, they try to get away with it. You know what I'm saying? And as long as they can make you think or believe that it's just all, all in your head bullshit. That's what they want to do, but it's not, because again, we have proof. I have proof. I've shown proof, so they can't, But the fact is that they don't want you to realize these things, because again, when it comes out, if and when it comes out, they're going to be held responsible. And do you think that they're going to let you put them in jail for what they've done to you? No. So they got to put you in jail. They're going to do whatever they can to set you up, to do whatever they can to either incarceration and mental institution or put you in jail. Right? This is how they get away with this shit. This is how they cover their ass. So when they decided they're going to experiment on you, you best believe they're setting you up, they're doing all kind of shit, then experimenting on you, and if you try to decide that you're going to think about it, they try to put you like in catch-22 situation. But the thing is that they're the ones that have already orchestrated the outcome, right? So it doesn't matter what you do, the outcome is already set, because they're manipulated with these technologies that you don't know about, right? And with the subliminals and the brainwashing, right? So is when you start to understand and realize what they have done to you, now you're at a point where you can fight or combat some of the things that they've done. And this is where they will start attacking you in a very ferocious manner, where they'll start using the police a lot, okay? As intimidation, as threats. So anyway, let me go back. This was Friday night, but let me go back. Let me recap my week. So, after the call last Sunday, which I talked about, what they would do with the fire truck, how they would show up on the block, Pamela's block, and, I would go to the window, and then the firemen would be across the street looking up or just standing around, and when I get to the window and look out the window, they would get back into their vehicle and leave, right? Wouldn't you know it? And after I said this on the call, right, Sunday night, it happened again Monday. Right? And it's been a while, but because I'm talking, and again, this is how they try to get you to shut up, right? This is how they try, because they figure, okay, we'll listen to these people, and whatever it is that they talk about, we're going to do it the next day. And, that will shut them up, right? But we are hip to the game. We already know that regardless, they're going to target us in another way anyway. Whether we talk about something or not, we're still going to be targeted. We're still going to be, we're still going to be in this psychological warfare, this PSYOPs program, right? This criticism program. But the thing is that if they can get you to shut up about what they're doing to you, that means that they can get away with continue to do what they do to you. And the use of threats, the use of the police is an intimidation tactic. Right? So the Monday, like I said, they showed up on the block again, and I wasn't going to look out the window. I was like, you know what? I'm going to report this shit because everyone was just talking about this stuff. So I recorded it. I get to the window. I look down. And one of the firemen get out the vehicle and starts walking in the opposite direction. I saw another one got out of the fire truck. He started walking in the opposite direction. Both walking in two different directions. Okay? Then another fire truck shows up, right? For a few minutes, then he leaves, then they leave, then the other two firefighters that walk in opposite direction came back into their fire truck, and then they leave, right? And so after they leave, across the street, there's an old man that they normally use across the street, and I don't know what happened there. Maybe they could do us a better for that day. So they end up using, maybe it was his wife or his daughter or whatever, or yeah, so then she comes out afterwards. Okay? And in his front yard, he has like a pot of flower, right? I think they look like they look like sunflowers, So she's there, and she looks up because they know I'm there, because again, this is the microwave, like the mind control weapon. So she stands there, and I'm looking. I'm like, okay. And I think immediately after the pastor comes, she comes up, she stands there. I'm still looking at her. And she turns around, she starts looking at the flowers in the flower pot, what have you. And she turns up for like a good 5 minutes. She's standing there looking at this, right? And then I was like, you know what, you should do that free. So I went back, I stopped recording, and I went back on the computer, I went back to it. Then I get a friend request from someone on Facebook, right? So I said, okay, let me go check them out before I accept the friend request. And on their page, they have the same flowers that the woman was looking at on their page, right? So Of course, I didn't accept it, but I took a picture of it. And after I took a picture of it, actually, I was invited to, I think I was, someone had, wasn't a service, I was invited to to one of those, usually they invite you to one of these pages that they create, right? And that picture was on it. So when I took a picture of it, right, again, I took a screenshot on my phone just to show the correlation. After I did that, the request was no longer there. So that shows you how they are reacting in real time through the remote neural monitoring, through the monitoring of my devices, electronic devices. Okay. So after, like I said, after the screenshot, all of a sudden now, the request disappeared. Wasn't there anymore. Okay. But again, that's why the screenshot is documented. Okay. So now, I had told Pamela for over a year ago, I said she needs to start looking for a babysitter because, again, things wasn't working out between me and her. She's like, she wanted to do whatever, and expect me to be there watching the kids. I'm just like, listen, I said, I might be a GI, but I'm not stupid. Okay, because you can't get any other man to come here, or any other woman, I would think, to come to their house, watch after their kids while they go out dates and all this shit like that, right? You don't say while they're there. I said, ain't no man gonna do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no man gonna do that shit. Unless there ain't no man, but there won't be some men who do that shit. But again, that's not me. I'm not gonna do that. If you want to know with your girlfriend, that's fine. But I'm not watching the kids while you're out going out on dates. And particularly when I have school, right? So she knows that I have school, and I had I told her she needs to get a babysitter because one, when I'm watching the kids and she comes home, she just goes to sleep. She goes to sleep. Then I'm stuck with the kids while I'm trying to have class, right? So just like last semester, the semester before, where I had classes early in the morning, okay, like I would somehow stay over there just to get the kids ready for school because she would be sleeping, and she would take the kids late. So I would stay over there most of the time. Get up early in the morning. Remember, I had class, some of my classes were at 8 o'clock in the morning. I would get up at 6 o'clock, make breakfast, iron the kids' clothes, put them out, do it at night. It depends on what I'm all day, man. So whether, so I'll send them out, iron, and I also send them out to get up in the morning, iron their clothes early, and make breakfast, right? Get them dressed. Wake them up around, 6:45, or sometimes, I'll wake her up. And I say, hey, I made breakfast for the kids. I gotta leave, and I would leave. And then, I go pick up the kids in the afternoon from school after I get out of class. And I'll ask them, I say, hey, what time did you get to school this morning? And they would be like 9 o'clock. I'm like, how you get to school at 9 o'clock? I woke your mother up. How you get to school at 9 o'clock? So what she was then doing, she was hiding the letters from the school that they were sending to her about the kids always being late to school. You know what I'm saying? And then when I would ask her, she'd be like, oh, we got to school, we were a little late, but it was that much. But then I found out it was that much. And it was enough that the school was writing her letters, okay, saying that she needs to get to school. And then I got to that point where the teachers were telling me, listen, both of my kids, both of the teachers, like, got to get the kids here. And I'm thinking, like, hey, it's not my responsibility to take the kids to school in the morning. It's her responsibility. We agree to that. My responsibility was picking the kids up for the afternoon. But as usual, I'm the one that always has to end up, taking her responsibility in terms of with the kids, right? So I said, okay, I told her, listen, if we're gonna do this, we gotta be serious about it. You can talk to a therapist to deal with your issue, right? I said, look, I've been to the therapist since you know me, and I said I started again seeing the therapist, right? Because what's happened to me, and I said I know it affects our relationship and stuff like that, So I said to her, I was like, look, when you're in a relationship, you have to work on you, do what you need to do, okay? Don't feel like there's nothing wrong with you because nothing is definitely wrong with you. You have issues that you need to work out. So she was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. But then she never does. Because of the narcissistic personality that they've created within her. And they use her friends and family to manipulate them into giving her or creating that type of personality in her mindset. Okay? Because now, right now, At times, they'll do things that just trying to make me believe that she's being targeted, but that's not true. They're just trying to make me believe that so that way I can be more sympathetic. Trust me, I'm very sympathetic to her. Okay? Because I have said to her, I wasn't going to watch the kids this semester. You have to find a babysitter. And I told her this. Right? This was last year. I said, listen, I'm giving you a year to find someone. She still did. So I said to her, I said, okay, fine. So now I had to, instead of going to class in the morning, take class in the morning, I take class in the afternoon now, because now I'll ask her, look, I'm going to watch the kids, but, when you come home, we have classes, when you come home and I'm in my classes, you have to take care of the kids, right? Then I said to her, when my class is over, I'll leave. I said, if it's too late, maybe I'll stay to help you out, right? So, first week happened, last week, first week of class. What happened? I had class on Wednesday. Okay, so the class on Wednesday that I had is from 2 to 4, but I think a psychology class is 4, but the thing is that there was no professor there, right? There was no professor there. This was the first day of class, no professor there. I did the homework, right? And then I get an email about a day later from the professor saying that, that this is the class we're just going to have to come and, you just got to, every week, go look at what you have to do it, and turn in your assignment, right? So I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So Wednesday wasn't that bad. Thursday, I had a class from 6 to 8:45. So I told her this. I said to her, listen, you need to be here by 6 o'clock because this is our agreement. Right? I said, look, against my better judgment, right, in which I had said to you that I wasn't going to do this again this semester, that you need to find somebody because, you're very manipulative, right? And that's how they get her to be very manipulative towards me. She didn't even look for a babysitter. She wait, and this is what she does. She waits until the last minute to look for something when she should have, when I told her months and months, then all of a sudden she can't find another one, so then I have to end up doing it, right? And she's gotten very good at it. And I said to her, I said, listen, there's nothing that you're doing that I don't know in terms of how you're trying to manipulate. And I said, I'll let you get away with it because I know that there's going to be a point and a time where you're going to do something where, you know what, when I say no, you have nothing to say. You're not going to go run to your friends and your family and tell them lies that you normally do, right? Because I've told you straight up months ago. Okay? So, my class Thursday, she comes home. Guess what? She needs to go to sleep. I'm trying to get my classes going, get the professor in there, my daughter constantly, so I'm saying I couldn't even really concentrate on the class too much. After class was over, I went and I wake up. I said, hey, I'm leaving. The kids are hungry. She's sleeping. Right? The kids are hungry. She opened up her eyes and went right back to sleep. So I had to make my daughter something to eat. Ethan wasn't hungry yet. So I said, listen, Ethan is not, I made her something. Ethan isn't hungry. Please get up to get him something to eat. So when I got home Thursday night, okay, I called her, right? And she was still sleeping. Right? The kids were up until 5 o'clock in the morning the morning. After I had spent the night Tuesday to give her a rest, and I made the kids get to bed early, and I woke them up at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I said to her, I said, I'll leave them at 10 o'clock. The next night, you put them to bed early, and then wake them, and then I'll wake them up when I get in the morning. It should be, I said, I'll do 10 o'clock again until the end of the week. I'll do it where, I'll wake them up at 8 o'clock. But that didn't pan out because why? She sleeps in that thing. So I had told her this. I said, listen, family. I said, I'm going to get my better judgment. I'm going to watch the kids, okay? But my classes in the afternoon is very important. You need to be here at 6 o'clock, and then you need to watch the kids because, again, I'm in class. And she said yes. I said, what does she do again? Comes in, what? Going to go to sleep. She's like, I'm so tired. I'm like, you're not telling me anything new. You're always damn tired. That's your excuse. You're always tired. But then if your friends call you and say, let's go out, you find the energy. Which I'm going to prove my point again. So she had asked me to watch the kids for her Friday night because she said that her friend was coming up to Florida, and her girlfriend was going to go visit her because she has cancer. Right? That's what she said. She has cancer, right? And that she's coming up to get a second opinion. Okay? So I'm like, I said, listen, get somebody else. I said, get somebody. I told her no. I said, no. I said, get somebody else. So now she again asked me the next day. I said, listen, Pamela, I told you no. And for some, like I tell her, for some reason, when I say no to you, for some reason you feel that, me saying no to you is something that I shouldn't do. But you saying no to me is something that I should have to deal with. I said, because I'm a man. Because there are women out there who feel that as a man, you should say no to them. Right? They can say no to you in every single aspect. Okay? But you can't say no. It's like when we were in a relationship in the past, and, there are times when, I didn't want to be intimate with her, and she was like, I'll tell her no, and then she'll like pressure me. And then there are times when, and this is when we're in a relationship, where she may not want to have sex, but I wanted to. And I'm like, come on. I was like, so, like I said, if I can deal with persistence. So, she was like, why you always, I said, okay, fine. I said, when you want it and I don't want it, what do? You just pressure me and such and such, right? So again, just to give you a psychological, insight in terms of how certain women are, right? And so anyway, so I said to her, no, I'm not watching this thing. So finally, she's like, I couldn't get a babysitter or what have you, because I said, well, when you got your cousin, why don't you ask her? Oh, all this excuse. So finally I said to her, I said, you know what, Pamela, I'm going to go get some better business. I said, okay, fine, I'll watch the game on Friday night. But I said to her, but I'll probably, it depends on what time you come home. If you come home too late, then I'll stay. And then she said to me, well, we're not going to be out that late, so you can go home after, right? I said, okay, fine. I said, well, what time are you guys going to meet to go to the city? So she texted me back. She was like, they're going to be in the city at 6:45. I'll meet them for 7. I said, okay. I said, we left it as that, right? Left it as that. Friday, okay, she comes home, gets dressed, what have you, and I see that she didn't leave. She didn't leave at 7, because she was still taking her time. So I said, hey, are they supposed to be leaving? One of my friends got stuck in traffic, what have you, right? That's what it's 10 o'clock comes. I'm like, okay, what are you guys doing? She was like, well, I'm still waiting to hear from them and blah, 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 right? 8:30. So I'm thinking to myself, I have to go home, what's going on? So I said to her, listen, why don't you just take a cab and go to your friend that came up from Florida, who has cancer? And she said to me, well, I don't want to do that because she's not really my friend, she's a friend of a friend. So I'm just like, hold up. You're making a big thing about it because you said that this is your friend who has stage 4 cancer and blah, 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 right? Then you're telling me now, oh, she's not really your friend. But, I'm not even stressing that because I'm just listening to her. Like I said, I analyze shit. So 9 o'clock comes now. I'm like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. You guys are going to go hang out, what have you, these restaurants some restaurants just have like outdoor dining. I said, they close at 10 o'clock. So how are you going to, well, she's like, well, no, we're just going to like go to her hotel room and just chat. Okay, I'm like, okay, so you got all dressed up, just now to just go to a hotel and chat. So I said to her, I said, listen, you know what? I said, look, I have to go home, right? She's like, you said you was going to stay. I said, no, I didn't. I said, I was going to, but then you said to me that you wasn't going to go out for that long, so I didn't have to stay. So I already changed my mind and be like, okay, I'm going to go home. Not because of the situation now, whereas your friends are late, right? So now you're trying to, get me to stay and spend the night when I offered to, and you told me no, that you wasn't going to, stay. So, anyway, so she finally leaves, right? And then she comes back up like half an hour later, and at the time I was doing the Friday night call, the education call on Friday night. And so when I got off, I went to her room and I said, hey, what happened? And she's like, crying. I'm like, and she's like, well, And I called the cab, and the cab didn't come. And I said, why did you just call another cab? She's like, yeah, I wanted to, but then I just decided, you know what? By the time the cab comes and I have to get into the city, I have to spend this money, I only hang out for like an hour or two. So I said, listen, first of all, I wasn't going to put any time limit on you, right? And she's like, yeah, but you know how you are sometimes. I said, well, if I have to go home, Pamela, you have to keep into consideration that I'm watching the kids for you while you go out, right? That at least you should come home at a decent time or a time where I can leave to get home, right? You can't just I said, okay, put it like that. I said, if you hire a babysitter, right, for a certain amount of hours, okay, you think the babysitter want to hear about, I'm leaving late, so that means, there's a babysitter come at a particular time, for 7 o'clock, and you haven't leave the house by 9 o'clock, 9:30, now you're leaving the house, right? And you hire the babysitter from 7 to 11 or 7 to 12. Does that make any sense? I said, because I'm a babysitter, and I said, listen, we are not in a relationship. We've made that clear, right? But why are you trying to act as if now when the situation, when you want the situation to suit your needs, now you want the benefits of me being here as if we're in a relationship? I know. Okay? So, anyway, so she started crying and all this shit, and she's like blaming me, but you got what you wanted. And I said, how do you get what I wanted? I said, she's like, well, because you said, when I was leaving that, look at the time, you're leaving at 9 o'clock and blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, Pamela. I said, listen, first of all, I didn't say anything. You left that house, I didn't say anything. I said what I had to say, and I just walked off. That's it, I said, whatever time you would have came home, you would have come home. So she was like, well, because by the time I get there and this and that will happen to us, so I decided not to go. I said, okay, well, then that's on you. And that is a very adult thing that you did. Right? Because you knew that I had to go home, and the fact that your friends were late, so because of that, I get the blame. Right? It is my fault. Okay? So I said, okay, whatever. I left. And like I said, and because of the retaliation, because I guess, they wanted me to, and again, this is all they're doing. This is all they're doing, using her friends to manipulate the situation, to be late and all this shit, and all of that. When the simplest thing she could have done, I said, okay, well, if your friend was late, why didn't you and your other friend just take a cab over to her house? And then you leave from her. Right? That would be the easy thing to do. You could have been at the house, by 8 o'clock, you wouldn't have to hear my mouth. So, anyway, like I said, it took me that long to get home because, they retaliated and like that. And like I said, look, I mean, how are you going to retaliate against me on that? You say, I did her a favor, right? Her friends made her late, but I get the blame because now she has to come home at decent times so I can, which was already established that I was the same. Okay? So anyway, so Saturday night, I got outside, so much relaxed. Saturday, I call her, and again, she's still blaming me. And check this out. So Friday night, when I was talking to her, I said to her, well, you left to the capital city, and she's like, yeah, but the cab didn't come, blah, 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 but she left at this point. Her friend told her, instead of taking the cab to the city, to take a cab to the girlfriend's house, right? And then her other friend was going to come and meet them there. And then they went to the city together. So I said, okay, so you left the house at 9 o'clock. You take a cab to the girlfriend's house, right? But they're still not ready. By the time you guys get into the city, or leave into the city, it's going to be 10 o'clock, right? To go to a hotel room with your friends, to meet your friends, for how long? You know what I'm saying? I said, so how is it that this is my fault? Well, because, you have to go home and blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, then I guess it's my fault then. I have to go home. Which, mind you, I had said to her, I can spend the night. And she was like, no, I'm not going to be up that long. You can go home afterwards. Right? So I just literally have to shake my head and be like, this was really, really and on top of that, Friday night she's crying and she's like, I didn't get to go home. I didn't get to go out. The last night I went out was in June. I said, this is COVID-19 situation here. No one is going. I said the people who are going out all the time, as you see, guess what? Their ass is getting COVID-19. Okay? Those who are not being protective and going out to bars and these little clubs that open that they're not supposed to open them, guess what? They are getting COVID. Right? So what you did was very adult of you to put your need to go out so bad because again it was late. I said it was late and you know I had to go home. So because it was late and you know I had to go home, and again this is not my fault now because I'm there on time. I'm the babysitter, I'm there on time, right? I watch the kids. I'm there on time, I've been there all day. It's not to say like, you know, you're waiting on me to come watch the kids and I'm late, making her late. Okay? So because of that, I am the fall guy. Not her two friends who are late and made her late, but me, I am the fall guy. So I told her today, I said to her today, I said, you know what? I said, I want you to start looking for a babysitter because come October, whether you get one or not, I will not be there. Don't expect me to come in the morning, I will not be there. Okay, because for you to blame me on something that's not my fault, I'll put the blame on me, right? It's toxic in itself. Okay? Check this out. Here's the kicker. He said to me that this is toxic when I say to her, because she was late, hey, you know, what time are you going to get home because you're leaving so late? So that was toxic to her. Okay? And that led me to like not go. I suppose what led you to not go is that the cameras late. Your girlfriend still wasn't ready because they wanted you to go to the other girlfriend's house so they can all meet up, right? But yet me, who I need to go, because remember, I still have to study, I have homework and stuff like that, right? And if I spend the night there on Saturday, I know what's going to happen Saturday morning. She's going to be in bed sleeping, the kids are going to be up, and I'm going to be taking care of the kids and not being able to do my work. That's exactly what's going to happen. Listen, when she was going to school for 3 years, I supported that. I watched the kids and have you. There were a few times when I told her this, approximately 3 times out of the whole 3 years that I didn't watch the kids for her because my targeting was very heavy and I told her I didn't want to. Then on top of that, come to find out, you know, a few years later, that when she said she was going to study, she was actually going to her ex-house. Okay? And on top of all of that shit, I was still in there with her, there for her. Okay? Still there supporting her. But now that I'm going to college, she doesn't want to give me that same kind of support. Okay? Because listen, when people do things to you, they will try to make themselves out to be the victim of the abuse. And on top of that, they don't want to help you because of what they've done to you. They don't want to see you succeed because of what they've done to you. Okay? Understand that. And so, you know, I told her, I said, listen, that's it. We made a deal, we reneged on the deal. That first day when you came, when you went to sleep, and I could barely even, you know, get anything done in my class, you reneged on that deal. Because I said to you that I will do this, but when I have class in the afternoon, I remind you now, this is only 2 nights out of the week I have class at 6. Right? 2 nights out of the week I have class at 6. And she couldn't even do that. She couldn't even watch the kids, but she went to her bed and she went to sleep. Okay, so now I'm the fall guy. I'm the bad guy. And again, these people, they're manipulating this shit because while all this is going on, you know, these sirens, people upstairs, even today, so I'm watching a video and, you know, I'm watching a math tutoring video and the teacher or the instructor said the number 9, right? And as the teacher said the number 9, I hear. I'm like, okay, you know, how are you? Then she says it again, and then at the same time, a car honked, right? And every time the number 9 is repeated, the neighbor upstairs is saying on the phone. So I said to myself, you know what? I have McAfee, so I said, let me turn on my VPN. Okay? And since I've turned on my VPN, which is a virtual private network, which masks the IP address, okay, it kind of uses other computer IP addresses, so I use to surf the internet, so that they can't track you. It stops. Okay? And again, they manipulate the situation because when I spoke to today twice, the time I spoke to today, the police sirens in the background. Okay? But this is what they do, how they manipulate and ruin people's relationships, friendships, family. Same thing. Yesterday was when I came home Saturday morning, and I left my house. Guess what they did? My sister hangs her book bag on her bedroom door, which is like on the outside side. Like, this is what they do, right? So they like to use these bags, or they got this bag and that in the bag, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. The only thing I got in the bag is caution. That's what y'all got in the bag. Y'all full of shit. You know? And so, you know, again, you know, with the heavy woman on there, the heavy microwave, and then on top of that too, right? My son, who I haven't spoken to in over a month, all of a sudden shows up yesterday. Call me, right? Say, hey, Dad, I'm coming down, nothing like that. Okay? So, now they have my son now disrespecting me. Right? But again, and it's just not just me here, you know. So any chat application, on top of that, anybody, particularly if you're black and brown, right? This is how they're destroying families. Okay? Not in a more concentrated way like they do us with TIs, but I should say, you know, yeah, not in a more concentrated way, but they're doing other things. You know, when you look at family structure today, people are moving further and further apart from each other. Family members don't talk to each other anymore. This is the separation of the life. Just know that strong families, okay, it's that's a hard thing for them to try to manipulate if they're going to target somebody within a strong family. So they have to find ways to manipulate to break that bond. Right? And it's something that takes years. But then eventually they'll do it if you don't know. They don't exactly do that. So, yeah, you know, I mean, it was just like I said, you know, I mean, it's impressive, you know, but it's something that we go through all the time as you guys. It's nothing new, you know. Like I said, they will hide after them, expose them with the police. You know, I guess the fact that it happens on video this week only because, like I said, I don't want to see what they're going to do. I do my video. People also will understand and see, you know, what it is that they do. So, and then what they'll try to do, it's really funny. Whenever I can do video footage, you know, they will send, well, recently they just sent me Jewish women, white women, I was walking across the street, the bus, I got up the bus close to my house, there was another white woman waiting, you know, close to the bus stop, get off, she started walking, doing all the handshakes, blah, blah, blah. Friday night coming home, it was like nobody was outside. I walked for 2 blocks, like nobody sat outside. It was like, it was 2 in the morning. The only 2 people was outside was 2 white women. One about maybe 30, and the other one young, you know, in her late teens, and both staring at me. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. I said, I guess what? When you get black and Hispanic women to target you today or tonight, you got to use the Jewish women. But again, this is, they'll find whoever they see, because I think when people participate and they begin to understand what's going on and they stop, there's always a new supply of people to come in to fill the gap, right? And so this is how they constantly get people, because sometimes, you know, see people targeting you, then after a while, they'll still see those people, but they won't be targeting you in the past before. And I think it's because maybe they've learned something, you know? So they may target you, but not in a more over, you know, not by standing outside or what have you. You know, and like I said, it's a Friday night, it's a very nice day. Usually on my block, you know, you have these young guys out there talking to this back. Nobody outside of the hall. Nobody. Okay? Again, it's technology, right? And I kind of akin that to, like, for example, was on the night, right? They went into a military complex. Everybody is sleeping. Nobody's inside. They're sleeping, right? Had a fight. There was Osama bin Laden. With a helicopter left. And 6 hours later, he sent the Pakistani government send their airplanes to look for these helicopters. They never really crossed the border, 6 hours ago, right? So, that's he said, "Nah, this is what's happening." Okay, we need to understand that and what it is that they're doing, and particularly with and I'm trying to educate her, but you can't educate somebody who is a small notion, right? That they live in their own bubble and they want to ignore the shit that's going on. It's very hard. I'm trying. I've tried. I'm not going to give up. If I do, it might put you in a situation where you can't get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Where they're going to just try to use you in any way that they can. Okay? But, it's hard, man. It's hard. I mean, for her, listen, both of my kids' mothers, they can give a damn what happens. I don't care what happens. That's the difference. As much as they have wronged me, okay, I still want to see them be better and do better and succeed. The fact that if they succeed, then I know my children will be fine. But and again, this is how a lot of these women nowadays are. Not just today and right now, but this is how they've been trained. Okay, that's why they're quick to, even though you're taking care of the kids, they're quick to run for child support to child support. And even when you show them that I'm taking care of my kids, got receipts and everything. They don't care. They just want to put you in the system. That's what they do. And I always say that if you as a man who's a father and your kids you have receipts, they should be knowing that they should put you in child support. Only if you're not taking your responsibility. If you are, they should. I said every single father needs to keep receipts. Okay? So they should be done, but they do it because they want to put you in the system. If they can't put you in the system in a criminal aspect, they'll do child support. You have children. So, they always find ways, man. Always find ways. But, I wanted to talk about, because I heard, one night, was talking about Sunday, and I remember the story about this woman, okay? And it turned out that this is more than one, right? So you had a woman who was involuntarily committed, right? And because she's involuntarily committed, she now suffers from mental anguish. Okay? So this is a woman suffering from personal problems and the subsequent unexpected death of her son was involuntarily committed to a behavioral health center by a psychologist, allegedly following a telephone conversation in which the woman expressed suicidal ideation. Right? The physician failed to document the specifics of the conversation on the record required for an involuntary commitment. The woman sued the physician and the center. The Louisiana jury found that the applicable standard of care had been breached and awarded the woman $65,000 in damages. Okay? So this woman might have been depressed and stuff like that, and she might have said something that, not to say that she was going to commit suicide, but she might have said something, sometimes I feel like, like my life is over or such and such, right? And this is what, this is what they did, right? So the psychologist told the woman's husband that she was suicidal, and she wasn't. Right? So it says the woman who was even though she was going through a mental anguish, she was very cognitive, she said that, hey, isn't there a evaluation or examination prior to involuntary commitment? Right? And it says that the woman said that had the psychologist perform an in-person evaluation, the woman argued that he would not have determined that she was suicidal. So you have where people are just being thrown into these psychiatric hospitals, okay? Because again, you have people who kind of jump the gun or what have you, or people who may people who are put there for various reasons. Normally, sometimes by the state, right? Sometimes by the police or what have you, or people wishing to do them harm. Okay? And here some of the things. This is very troubling, because you have many cases of people who are being involuntarily subjected to institutionalization, like yes, facilities, right? And then and what it does is that it causes stress disorder symptoms, right? Which also relates to psychosis and from an acute involuntary hospitalization, right? So they cause you stress. On top of that, they put you on drugs, which they don't even know how you're going to react to the drug. Okay? They don't give you the test to see, well, if you're allergic to whatever is in the drug. Okay? Recently, for me, like I was on Breastadol because I my psychiatrist was trying to get off of it causes you to not think. And on top of that, the effect that they had on me, that I had a kind, my foot was always bloated. And on top of that, the right side of my face is kind of like, screwed, so it's like my right side of my face, under my chin, you see like this fat area under my chin, makes my face look kind of, one side. Okay? Again, and I started telling my son this, I said, a lot of times, they create these medicines before they create the symptoms. And then after the medicine create the symptoms to make it as a, again, it's all money, right? It's all profit. Okay? So then they come out with a medication and be like, well, we can invent a new illness or new sickness that we can give the individual. So they'll start this creating shit. Okay? And that's troubling. And the fact that, because of these people are given the authority to do this to, and the reason why they have, and I can say that, these there are people with mental illness because they are. Okay, what I'm saying is that when the state, somebody smoking weed outside my window, I can smell it. This is what they do. Right? I mean, in my apartment building, there's an alley, right? And to get into the alley, you have to go through 2 gates, right? To get to the side of my window. They will come hang and they're doing. First of all, it's New York. They're not going to arrest you for smoking this on the side. Okay? But they have to come here and do this. And this is what they do. This is, I guess part of the threat of planting drugs on me. I try to, I mean, this is again, this is what they do, right? So, and this is another example of how they target. Okay. All right. So there was another article of this woman of another involuntary. This article it says, "I'm saying I swear, the trauma of involuntary treatment, temporary symptoms, long-term suffering." Okay. Because where people, may be going through traumatic experience and are being given, diagnosis of mental illness that they don't have. Okay, they're going through grief. Okay, and so now they're saying that if a family member, let's say you're, somebody in your family, right? Now they're giving you a timeline in which you should get over it. So they said, okay, if you're still breathing after 6 months, then we need to put you on medication. Understand how this works. Okay, it is all for profit. And it's not to say that the pharmaceutical companies don't get enough profit. They're over $20-something billion a year in adult medication. Right? And again, another $20-something billion a year in medication prescribed for children. And now you're looking at another $15 billion, right? In terms of giving medication to 4-year-olds, 4, 5, 6, and 7-year-olds. Okay? So it's all in the state of profit. Okay? And this is something that they do. Also, right, in terms of my talking, when we talk about marijuana, as well as smelling the weed, is that certain people, when they smoke marijuana, right, they can have what's called PTSD-induced psychosis, right, up to 2 days after the use of cannabis. Okay? So when I say that there's a science behind their target stuff, in terms of what they do, they're very meticulous. They understand these things. They understand the science. This is just come from the CIA, the NSA, the Department of Defense. You know, because everything has been weaponized. Okay? Everything. So again, you know, understanding these things and how these things come about is what these people do. And to get the general public is a bit dismayed because, you know, they may consider it such for whatever reason. Because they always talk about national security or public safety, right? But I don't see them doing this to these racist cops who are killing unarmed black people. Okay? Which is public safety. How am I more of a public safety threat? How am I more of a public safety threat to 17 people who walked the protest with the AR-15 and shot? The cops, they didn't stick around when they had the shot. Them motherfuckers ran. Yeah, they ran. Then they had the nerve to speak to, you know, have somebody pull up at the front of the car playing the song, well, I'm fucking running. Like, where am I running? I have, you know, I've been in this program for almost 2 decades now. I don't run. Okay? So again, it is, but again, you know, it is a constant use psychological abuse of the government or the state, of the people who they try to silence, of who they're experimenting on, and that they don't want telling the truth. You know, so I mean, it is utterly ridiculous. They want to talk about you know, national security and public safety. You know who those who are within the hierarchy and the security agencies within the government and the Department of Defense. Those are the people who are public safety and national security. Those are the people who are committed, you know, illegal wars, right? Killing, destroying people's homes overseas, killing their families, and then people are turned into haters of this country and want to kill Americans because of what these agencies are doing, these government agencies. Okay? So, you know, when they try to pull that shit with me, I just look at them and I have to laugh. And I really have to laugh because it is utterly ridiculous. And this is what they do. Malcolm X says it best, right? He says that they will make you the enemy to the people around you. While the people around you is focusing on you and thinking that you're the enemy, right? What they do, they're putting that knife in their back. That knife they got in their back, they can't even see. The metaphor is in the mind. Okay? They're killing their mind.
Oh, to be nice, man. This is I feel a good time to throw this in there, man. Malcolm X has a quote, man, and he says something in regards to if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are doing the oppressing, or loving the people that are doing the oppressing and hating the people who are being oppressed.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Okay, so I mean, it is ridiculous, man. is really, really ridiculous. Yeah. This is another woman in New Hampshire who was involuntary committed for weeks, right? In the hospital. Okay? 2 weeks. But imagine let me read the article. So imagine you are so forced to go to the hospital to receive psychiatric treatment that you don't think you need. What rights do you have? That's the question at the heart of the legal battle between the state of New Hampshire and the American Civil Liberties. The case has big implications for New Hampshire, but it also highlights a nationwide problem. It also highlights a nationwide problem. Shortage of mental health that is even patients stranded in time. Right? This woman who's 61 years old, she worked for an organization that helps with disability. Right? NEM is a family name, and NPR is a use her real name because she's afraid of discrimination. Right? So in September 2018, she was suffering from severe stress and anxiety. It was just a perfect storm of stress of 7. So I taken a day off, I was recovering from home. Later, her daughter arrived at the house. She was alarmed by her condition. She later described it as a psychotic break. But she didn't think she needed help. Her daughter called the police. They found her agitated and sporadic, according to the police. They told her she had to go to the hospital. She refused. She said, I don't need to go. I don't want to go. They got the medical emergency technician who told the officers to hold her down. Right? She said, next thing you know, they stabbed me in the office and drugging her. Okay? Woke up in the emergency room, and then the doctor filled out a petition that says she was endangering herself and others because of the mental health. She didn't have it. This is the doctor that's doing this, right? Turns out something. He hasn't even looked at this woman. Remember, she was still sleeping from being sedated. He did not even look at this woman. But he said that she was endangering herself and to others. This is how you had those police officers who called for ambulance from young men who had he had issues with a mental illness. He had a neurological issue, right? Meaning that he suffered from some sort of neurological illness. Okay, and so the cops, stopped him for no reason, called the ambulance for him, basically, roughed him up, threw him on the ground, laid on him, sat on him, or had me put their hands in their knees in his back, and then because of the stress of all of that, right? And then they gave him a drug. They gave him some drug, and because of that combination with the drug and the stress, caused him to have a massive heart attack. Okay. So now this woman she said that they had put her in a psychiatric care facility, right? Where she said there was around 35 people, and then when she was denied a hearing, when she could have argued to the judge that she should be allowed to go home. So they even denied this woman that opportunity. Okay? Because again, this is the mentality that these people have. Okay? You have a lot of them that's working on the police force, working in the hospitals. It is like really, really ridiculous. So when they send the police to your house, talk about some wellness check or what have you, you have to know the law and videotape them. Videotape them, because once they see that they're on camera, all of a sudden their attitude and their behavior change. Right? All of a sudden, they're not so aggressive anymore.
Exactly.
So, I'm trying to find the article, man, of that woman, who was going through a divorce, and, she was getting ready to board a plane, And yeah, they put in hospital. She spent months with her. There's so many stories, man. There's so many, so many stories, you know. But this one particular story, this woman, that she wrote was just really, really, you know, really kind of took the cake for me. Like literally, the pain this woman for months, okay? And I can't remember exactly who. I think it was her husband. Her husband had called. Okay, I guess she was going through divorce, right? Her husband had called, and she was, you know, I guess they took the hell, how have you. I mean, this is the shit that just really is troubling, man. That's in the country. But people, you know, and the sad thing, here's the thing about it, right? Because these police officers, right, who do this of the state, right? When it comes to privacy, and telling not privacy, it's okay, right? But yet, they don't want their privacy violated. Okay? They passed a law to open the books on police officers who have multiple complaints of abuse. Their union fought like hell, saying that, you know, that it violates the officer's privacy, right? But yet they're violating our privacy all the time. Not just that, but like I said, they're basically putting people in mental institutions. So that's exactly what they can do. So they can violate the privacy. Okay, so that woman who was driving a car and told the cops that she was friends with her farmer.
While you're looking for it, Nigel, if you can't find it, man, can you at least try to recall what you read? Just get it on record here. And then what I'll do is when you have like some time and you a little more
Here it is. So this woman here, Camilla Brock, is a woman held in mental health facility because police didn't believe that the BMW she was driving was hers. Okay? They literally put this woman in a mental institution because the BMW that she was driving they did not use. And all they could have done is just ran her plates, her insurance, okay? And it would have been done, right? But again, it's more to this than the story that Miss Diaz. She probably didn't even realize that. She probably was reading the product, should be talking to herself. And this is an opportunity that they used to, you know, stop her. So it says, a woman is suing New York City after she claims she was forced to spend 8 days in a mental health facility and given a $13,000 bill because a police officer didn't believe the BMW she was driving was hers. Now that, you know, they don't believe that the car you're driving is yours, now they can just, you know, put you in a mental hospital, right? So if that's the case, why didn't they put her in jail? Right? You gotta think about that. And this is what, you know, no one is asking, right? If they believe that the car she had was stolen, why did they put her in a mental institution? Why not put her in jail and charge her with driving a stolen vehicle, a theft of a vehicle?
That's a good point.
Right? So Kamala Brock, 32, who is a banker, said that police had initially pulled her over at a red light in Harlem, asked her why her hands were not on the steering wheel. She said, I was dancing, I'm at a light. Again, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong. You can take your hands off of the steering wheel at a light. Police do it all the time too. And as a matter of fact, Friday night when I was waiting at the bus stop, the police vehicle showed up. I forget to mention it. But at the first bus stop, the one that the bus took over an hour and a half to come, the police showed up, driving all slowly. You know, one of the police officers as they pass takes out his phone, and you know he's like, you know, texting on his phone. I'm like, hold up, like, you know, if you as a civilian is on your phone texting, These same other efforts will give you a ticket, right? So what does it say? Is that these people don't even follow the law that they supposed to, you know, enforce. Supposed to enforce. They don't even follow that shit themselves. But they will give you a ticket for texting and driving while they're texting. Okay? So it shows you the mindset, right? That power mindset that they have. That they feel that they can break the law, but you can't, you know, but you can't, right? Because again, they have a better badge. And I think you're breaking the law, but it's a damn, you know, whatever. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. So, Brock was then taken to, I was dancing at my light and was then asked to get out of the car. Brock was then taken into custody and transported to the NYPD 30th precinct, where she said she was held for several hours before being released without charges. Okay? So here, she was held in custody for several hours. What did they do to her during several hours? I'm saying, did she fall asleep? If she fell asleep, she's damn near chipped. I'll tell you that. Okay? So she said she was told to return to pick up her 2003 BMW. And again, this story took place in 2015. So the BMW she was driving was not even brand new. It was a 2003 BMW, right? And 325 CI the next day. She took it the next day. Goes on to say that when she returned to clear her car, police said he didn't believe that she was the rightful owner of the vehicle. He said, I just felt like from the moment I said I owned the BMW, I was looked at as a liar, Brock told PX 11. They put me in handcuffs and said they just need to put me in handcuffs to take me to my car. That doesn't make any sense. If you go to the impound, they don't put you in handcuffs and take you to your car. And she said, I said, okay. Whatever it's going to take to get my car. So by her saying, okay, she gives them consent to put her in handcuffs. Then she said that EMS approached me and they said we're going to take you to your car, EMS, right? And she goes, and I'm like, in an ambulance? I'm going to my car in an ambulance. I'm going to my car in an ambulance. I was so confused. She was taken to Harlem Hospital psychiatric ward. Then she claims medical record obtained by her attorney, Michael Lamassoff, showed she was forced to take lithium and injected with powerful sedatives. Right? He held on to me, and then the doctor struck me in the arm, and I was on a stretcher, and I woke up to them taking my clothes off, specifically my underwear, he said in an interview, according to David. While in the hospital, Kamala Brock, 32, reported that stripped naked and injected with sedatives. Okay? The lawyer claimed that over the 8 days in the hospital, personnel repeatedly tried to get Brock to deny that she owned a BMW. Now, what kind of madness is this? But, you know, Alda always says this. She's like, you know, Nigel, you know, the lunatics are running the asylum. And she's absolutely right. But you have personnel telling her that to deny that the fact that she owned a BMW. Like, who does that shit? Like, if somebody tells me they own a BMW, I'm not going to say, well, no, you don't, and, you know, how to get them to change their mind if they own a BMW. Actually, I don't even know that. And the fact that she was a banker. Right? And she said that, so again, they tried to deny that she owned a BMW and that she was a banker, right? Again, trying to have her deny her career, her profession, that she wasn't a banker. And that Barack Obama followed her on Twitter. Again, which is all true, that Barack Obama does follow her on Twitter. This is all true. I was looked at as a liar, and this is what they do, and particularly in this program that tells care all the time, is that they will try to make you out to be a liar. But again, this is all they're doing. How they manipulate you. How they create scenarios, which they already know the outcome. Okay? So there's nothing that you have done while you're in this program, even before you're in this program, that hasn't been orchestrated by them. Whatever outcome hasn't been already known by them.
Okay? Because they created the outcome and the situation. So, you don't know. So there's only one, you know what I'm saying? The outcome is going to be what they wanted to do. Okay? So, this is according to Lamoff, this is her attorney. Brock has no history of mental health problems. If a white woman was trying to reclaim her BMW impounded by police, would she have been made a victim? Would she have been questioned? Would she have been subjected to sarcastic comments? Would she have been made to justify who she was in order to ask for help? Right? And then to try to make it seem like race doesn't play a part of it. But that's just one half of it. Okay? I think she was microchipped at that police station that she was held for several hours without any charges. Why would you hold somebody in a hospital, right? In a hospital, in that police precinct, you have to arrest them and don't charge them and then let them go. And then when they tell you to come back to pick up your car, when you pick up your car, waiting for you, an ambulance, take you to the psych ward. Why? Because they want to create a history of mental illness. So that if this woman wakes up and realizes that, hey, she's a TI and she might have been microchipped, they already have her committed into a mental hospital for mental illness, right? And we know what they do with the mental illness label. It is used to discredit people. Okay? That's what they do. And in this program, that is what they do. The mental health industry is used by governments out the world, okay, to discredit opposition, discredit freedom fighters, to discredit those that speak out against government corruption, okay? And the same thing is being done here in the United States. So when you hear these people within the government get on television and say, they talk about China and human rights abuse, North Korea, and human rights abuse. Okay? I have to laugh because, again, for those who are aware, for those who are conscious, we know that it's all bullshit because the simply things that they do. They got to just look at the check. Okay? Just look at the check. Our rights are being violated every single day. Okay? Where we're being bombarded with direct energy weapons. Alright? And so, again, Louis Farrakhan, I watched a video of Louis Farrakhan with Mike Wallace. And they were talking about, what was he talking about? He was talking about a certain country in Africa. Where Mike Wallace was saying that the leader of that country was corrupt. Right? And that, so Farrakhan said to Mike Wallace, he said, first of all, the United States should be the last country talking about corrupt nation. Okay? A corrupt government, a corrupt leaders. Because he said that America doesn't have the moral authority to even stand on the ground to talk about other countries in terms of, morality and corruption. And America is just as corrupt or even more corrupt. Okay? Whereas America have committed some of the worst human rights abuse, okay, outside of Russia, North Korea, okay, even the Nazis. Because remember who brought over 1,600 Nazi scientists, engineers over here, right? So, I have no illusions about this government and those in the high ups, particularly in the security agencies, particularly those on the board, such as the American Psychiatric Association of America. Because we've already seen what their capable of. We've already seen that they will change their stance, okay, if a corrupt president decide that they want to torture people who goes against a treaty that every country signed, or almost every country, right? Who will experiment on people when you have the Nuremberg Code, which they signed, but they will change the definition so that they are allowed to do it. Right? So, when they talk about corruption, especially as TIs, and sometimes they try to make you use the police or have you to intimidate you and such. You got to call them out, and you got to do it in a way by being informed, understanding this program, understanding the history of the United States and what they have done. Because there are people out there who think that these things are not being done, and government don't do it even today, in spite of everything that's happened today, right? And we also have black and white people who will blame each other, right? Because they got to believe in that it's our fault. Okay? I'm talking to my son. I said, you know how many hundreds of thousands of people who in the 80s and 90s, kids actually back then, who were poisoned by the company, who grew up had to have behavioral issues, who were put into these special ed classes, right? Think about that. In the 80s and 90s, you had a vast amount of children who were being put into special education classes, right? Now, why didn't the government look at what was causing these children harm mentally, right, neurologically, that they had to be in special ed classes? They had to create these special education classes. And when you look at the majority of children who were put into these classes or schools, okay, were black and brown children. And particularly those children came from public housing. Okay? So now, these children live in public housing, being poisoned by lead paint, not just from putting paint chips in their mouth, but from the fumes in the summer where it was hot. Okay? The fumes that they were breathing day in and day out, day in and in the night, it's hot, and it's sleeping, also cause neurological issues with them. But why does anyone want to talk about that? Huh? What happened to these thousands or hundreds of thousands of children that grew up, some of them, in jail, some of them in, mental institutions? Why are these people forgotten? And then it happened again, not too long ago. And they buried the story quickly. And here is the kicker in the back, or the knife in the back, as Malcolm X would say. They went and they hired the police officer who sodomized a black man in a police precinct cell. Sodomized a black man with his buttons, right? Messed up his inside, his rectum, to where he has to use the device so that he can, you know, do what he has to do, right? They put that police officer as the head of the housing urban development, which the majority of people who live in those public housing facilities here in New York City are black and brown. But people don't look at that as warfare. Okay? Because if he could do that to a black man, the precinct which he went to jail for, to then put him in charge of a housing development, which the majority of people are black and brown. Right? And the people, particularly in the Bobbies, who knew about this hire, who has a black wife, right, with a black son and daughter, I think he has a daughter, said nothing. Said absolutely nothing. As if there wasn't more qualified individual. Like you tell me, this person who just come out of jail, and he was again, he has no qualification of being, for that position, but he got it. But yet, black and brown people running around here doing what they're doing to us, right? Because again, we are the distraction. We are the distraction because they don't think, like, okay, so this guy is not is somehow more of a public, I should say, more safer than a targeted individual who basically trying to live their life, who's basically trying to stop what's being done to them. Okay, but you want to use the excuse of national security and public safety against us, right? Meanwhile, you have these police officers running out the street, killing people, framing people, planting drugs on them, having them locked up in mental institutions. Okay, but yet somehow we are the threat. Like seriously? So people really have to open their eyes about the thing, but it's hard. It's very hard because the technology, people want to be people in the bottom. Yeah, they'll control you. They'll definitely try to control you, and you will control them if you don't. And if you don't understand that, then you're in for a world of pain. The insurance will be in for a world of pain when they start to really, really show you what they can do with you. And at that point, it'll be too late. At that point, you're going to find yourself being a slave with a smile on your face. Okay? So it is something that, we have to, yes, I think we do this, and it's because of our selfishness, right? Don't let anybody tell you about how, you're selfish or this and this. We are not. It's because of our selflessness, is love. Okay? Because our commitment and the fact that, we've been done a grave injustice. We do not want to see anybody else go through this while we're doing it. So, man, it's really ridiculous. Like I said, we all being targeted the way how we're targeted. So, again, the underlying patterns are all the same. Now, our situations, our lives may be a little different, but the core program, the core structure of this program is all the same. Okay? yeah, if I want to chime in, I'm trying to find that article that woman.
Howling. I'm trying. Okay.
Yeah. That's how they get away with it, right? Yeah. Exactly. So, like I said, the videos that we do, we capture police of these people, what's going to really expose them. We can YouTube, that they use it content creators now, because you got turned off television. They have to go the media now, right? To get a lot of information. So, I mean, yeah. No, yeah, some of them you really look, you can tell that they get paid. Okay, you can tell they're getting paid. And particularly some of the big YouTubers, right? So they're definitely getting paid.
Online, like I do this.
Yeah, I was telling my son that. I said, you have to. I said, pretty soon they're all going to be. They're going to have all these prices you got to pay.
Yeah, I think it'll go to the darknet eventually. I think it will get to the point where darknet will be the only place where we're able to. Everything can't censor that. Hope it doesn't get that bad, but get to that point where all or the darknet is like the only net where we can talk without being censored. It feels like they're trying to play every avenue out. Not just guys, but being have really express themselves. Like they just want to everything to do. I think 1984, awful. Like that's become reality. Like it's trying to.
Yeah, imagine 1984 with a Brave New World, like book. Brave New World. Yeah. Is that it?
No one.
Yeah. So, yeah. Because this is not really good. This created these technologies you want. And I said, you can go read Dr. Who that got a book, right? His book.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking about that. Speaking about how he like watch it. Big or something. I was like, that acting like that news, but he's doing that stuff.
Yeah.
He's putting chips and things in that.
There's a video of this guy. He's a quadriplegic, and You can find a video on YouTube where he's talking to Congress. Looking at monitors. He's claiming that because of the sensor within the monitor, right, that you can use his thoughts, right? I'm like, yeah, how is that possible? Then they say, well, he's doing something back of the eye. But if you look at his eyes is not happening. Or his eyes is not blinking that. Like that, there are parts in the video where he's not even looking at the monitor at all. His face is turned, his head is turned away from the monitor. Okay? And it's because they want us to believe, they want us to be the truth that we have the microchip in his brain. Okay? Right, yeah, exactly. So they'll tell you all this other nonsense, right? If you look at the heart, you look at his eyes moving up and down. Is his eyes moving left and right? Is he blinking a lot? No, he's not. Okay? Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't, exactly, but people believe that shit. So, like, you know, people like you and I, RT and Nappy, who, you know, think deeper into things, as opposed to just what's on the surface, it doesn't make any sense.
I can't see any way of, you know, decoding the eye, linking speech. It doesn't work like that. I don't think it's possible.
Sure. Man, that's the shit that they try to pull. Okay? And people believe that shit is because they're ignorant to the fact of technology, right? They love to use technology, okay? You know, as long as they can make it easy for them, but they don't want to know, you know, what's going on and what's underneath, you know, is the technology, right? I mean, like, come on, you know, like these phones with the fingerprint scanner. You don't think that they're documenting and your fingerprint? That's what I'm saying. You know?
I was talking earlier about how they've used nuclear weapons in Yemen. How basically, you know, that they won't admit it, but there's videos on YouTube of, you know, explosions and then there being like electrical discharges in the cloud of the explosion. And you only get that with nuclear weapons. And there's such a thing as a dialable yield nuclear weapon and a tactical nuclear weapon where they can make it so small that it is very hard to tell it's a nuclear bomb because it's basically designed to go into the earth. I think it's called a B-61 bunker buster or something like that. It goes into the earth and then it detonates in the earth. And I saw this video and you could see.
Yeah.
Yo, fellas,
pardon me, man. It's getting to that time now. You know what I'm saying? It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over here. We're running on 2 hours and a half on the call. I'm gonna have to shut it down, you know, soon, because I got stuff I gotta take care of here in the crib. I work in the morning, so you already know what time it is, man. Nigel, appreciate you as usual, man, with your input and when you go out of your way to find these articles for us, man. Definitely an awakening. And for the people who don't know about certain things, so as you probably picked up stuff that we already heard before on prior calls, there is a necessity to refresh the memory, especially of a TI, and even the average American, man, because the average American has the attention span of a fucking fish.
That's true.
That's why we got to do this. Sometimes it sounds like repetitive with certain things, but there is definitely a good reason why we need to refresh people's memory with stuff like this. Nappy, you still on the call, brother? If you want, man, you can unmute yourself and say any last things you want to put on the record, man. On there. They may have muted his mic. Nate, you still on there? Hold on a second, man. I got a weird feeling that he got booted off because he was talking about it.
I figured you got booted off, man.
Yeah, they don't want me speaking about this. You know, we just,
All right, now,
give me a second. What I want to do is I'm going to give you the floor for the next 10 minutes or so because I got to shut down the call, brother. I'm running a little bit late time here, and I got stuff I got to take care of. I got work, and we're already 2 hours and a half into the call.
Oh yeah.
So,
I gotta get back to doing my
I'm going to give you the floor now, bro, so you can finish what you got to say, man.
Yeah, as I was saying, there's like these videos of these bombs dropped, and how they work is they go into the earth, and then they detonate under the earth. They've been very smart about how they can use nuclear weapons and make it look like a conventional bomb, but there's still telltale signs of it being a nuclear bomb. So there was there's several videos actually of these weapons being used in Ukraine and Yemen. I guess the Israelis dropped them because they have nuclear weapons, you know. We know they have them, but it's not officially acknowledged, but everyone knows they do. But yeah, there's this massive explosion, and then afterwards, you can see in the mushroom cloud, there's lightning discharges, and that's a staple of nuclear detonations. And another video, you could see like interference on the camera from the radiation of what it was giving off. So they designed this bomb, and you can see the specifications of this bomb too. You know, it's dialable yield, so they can change how powerful it is from being able to destroy a city to being a lot less powerful. So, you know, this thing can be lowered in its power, but it's still extremely powerful. But yeah, you know, if you know what to look for, there's still, you know, telltale signs. And these videos are on YouTube. If you search Israel tactical nuke Yemen, you can see it. It's just like, this shit is unbelievable, man. Like, nearly everything we're told is a lie a lot of the time. You know, and you can see for yourself that there's lightning discharges in this video. Because I think one of them was took at night time. And you don't get that with conventional bombs. You only get that with nuclear weapons. So, yeah, man, it's definitely, it's just unbelievable, man. It makes sense that they do something like that, with how they sneaky about it, like they use the weapons of any kind that they want in a way and then deny it. You know, whether it's these directed energy weapons or other weapons, they'll, you know, say, "Oh no, that wasn't a nuclear bomb. You know, that was a conventional bomb." But you can see,
yeah.
This shit is just unbelievable, man.
You know, that's what they do, right? They double speak, you know.
Yeah.
They always
1964 took it literally.
Yeah, I mean, they experiment with these weapons. I mean, I think, you know, it's like they have to find some ways of experiment with these weapons. So even if it's just, you know, it may not be a certain kiloton nuclear bomb, but it could be like a pretty small one, right?
Yeah.
They were using, you know, and sometimes they'll detonate the shit on the ground to hide the fact that they're using a nuclear bomb. But, you know, what they call these, you know, like you said, when they drop it, it drills into the earth, right, and then it explodes, right? So that you don't have any big mushroom cloud in the air, you know?
Yeah, hide the flash.
But it destroys the landscape.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's designed. It's called a B1 something 12, and I was reading about it on Wikipedia, and it says it's designed to burrow into the earth and then detonate deep under the earth. You know, they found a way to hide the flash, but still, you know, you get the destructive power nearly of a nuclear weapon going on. But it's smaller than, like, you know, because everyone thinks a nuclear weapon, it'll destroy a city. But this thing is like smaller, because I think they mix lead with the fissile material, and it does something to reduce the yield, you know, the power of the bomb. So it's more, you know, I guess, usable on a smaller scale. You know what I mean? That's how they do it. Yeah. I was like, oh. They've been using, there's one in Ukraine where you can see it light up the whole sky, and you can see like the energy of the explosion. You can tell that's not a normal explosion, you know what I mean? It's definitely, it just blows your mind, because it's like, yo, how many times have they used these things without people knowing? And these things will be releasing radiation, you know, into the atmosphere, all that. So it's just, you know, I guess it's not surprising that when you look at the program we're in, you know full well they're going to be doing other shit that's just as bad, you know, on another level, man. So really weird, man, that all this shit. It's true, man. It's factual. Everything, you can see it, you know. If you look at the B61 and then you look at the variants and you see the dialable yield versions, you can see, you know, it's possible they can do this. Just like, you know, we can see with the technology, you know, the remote neural monitoring patents and all the silent sound spread spectrum patents and all that. You can see that it's technically possible to do this stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's possible to do a lot of things you think it's impossible, okay? So, you know, none of this stuff is surprising.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it shouldn't be surprising to anybody. I mean, particularly going understanding what we're going through, how some of these technologies being used on us, particularly when it comes to the mind control, right? And the fact you see in our family members, you know, who've been manipulated with these technology also. So, you know, I always say sometimes, you know, like when I hear, like some of I read these stories about these people, particularly these women who claim that their children are possessed by the devil and shit like that, and the shit that they say. You know, I sort of myself, you know, like, man, this is micro technology being used on these people, and because they don't know that it's being used on them, and the technology exists, you know, that's what they're, you know, they believe in that stuff, right? And so, you know, I think once people become educated on these things, okay, because a lot of this technology is used to drive people crazy. And again, the more people they can diagnose with a mental illness, I mean, what? More profit, more medication that they can sell. You know, more hospitals going to get paid for people coming to the hospital. Again, it is all to create and sustain an industry that has no, you know, scientific bearing when it comes to the human mind and, you know, and what goes on within the human mind. Right? But yet they can create medication that they think solve a problem, which it doesn't, and there's no medication you can take for people who really have mental illness to correct their way of thinking or how they feel. There's no, all the medication does is just make you lethargic, right? Sometimes, like if it's depressed, what do? They give you something that's like kind of like cocaine. You know what I'm saying? They give you what's called an antidepressant, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and it's the same shit that, you know, it's basically cocaine, you know, but except it's in a prescribed form. You know? And then they tell you that don't do drugs, don't take cocaine, but then they'll give you the shit and say depressed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. You know, this shit is madness. It's insane. You know, like I said, I always thank Alva for that saying, man. This is her saying. I always will say it. This is her saying. And she said that the lunatics are running the asylum. Okay? You don't have sane people running the asylum. You have lunatics running the asylum. You know?
That's a good one, because it's so true.
Yeah, and these lunatics are especially, you know, you have like the far right lunatics, you have the lunatics, you have the far right lunatics, and you have the far left lunatics. But all together, they're all lunatics, okay?
That's pretty much it.
But yeah.
Cannabis, the hip-hop artist, he had a shirt, man, that had the White House on it, and then it said lunatic asylum on it.
Yeah.
Yo, fellas, man, I gotta shut it down now.
Yeah.
It was a good call. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all. Thanks to Nappy Head Roots. Not sure what happened to the brother. I guess he got muted or he got booped off earlier, but at least we got his documentation. And I will be adding his last recent video that, the one that got him banned for about a month or so, that got taken down by YouTube. But the latest one that he put after that, which is the Demon Perp Lady, I'll put that up in the description box. Know that Nappy's doing well. He's hanging in there. He's not doing well, like, you know what I'm saying, with TIs, man. So we're doing okay, if that's a proper way of putting it, man. Because when we go through stuff like this, man, you know, it takes the edge out of wanting to continue to persevere sometimes because the shit gets so fucking out of hand. But being that we're natural warriors, man, we continue to persevere. And I know that brother will eventually. He just, you know, we all got those days, man, where we, you know, we get frustrated, we get sick of certain things, and the humility within us starts dwindling, and we start thinking more on the, you know what, man, next one's gonna do some shit, man, I'm gonna just break them up, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? And you get that feeling, you know what I'm saying, wanting to do that. So you gotta kind of take it easy, bring it down a couple of notches, and remember that they're trying to take us out of, you know, being in commission and locking us up either in prison or in a mental institution and take away our rights and bury the truth with us. So we can't allow that to happen. We have to keep the focus and the eye on the prize and try our best to keep it positive as much as possible, man. And just keep educating other people and exposing these motherfuckers as much as possible. I'd like to thank Night of Thunder for, you know, putting his story out there, what's been going on to him with the Bobbies out there in the UK playing a lot of fucking games. I've been to those games myself, not exactly with the, you know, police officers here like that, but they came along with some suicide counselor one time here trying to intimidate me with their presence and all that shit, but I shut that down. And they haven't been back since. I had some plan for them in case they try to come back again, but I guess the remote neural monitoring gave me away, and they just stopped abruptly. Interesting how that works. I'd like to thank Nigel Nicholson for his input. Appreciate you as always. And do me a favor, now that you're still here, if you can, man, if you're not going to be too busy, send me those links to the articles that you read or excerpts from a book. I'm not sure what you were reading from. Something probably online, and send me those joints so I could add them to the description box, man. At this point, man, I'd like to tell everyone, you know, thank you, the loyal listeners that are still listening in. Stay tuned. We'll be back for sure next week with another one. Have a good week up ahead, y'all, and we will continue to stay in contact. Nigel, stay safe. Have a good night, man. I'm glad you're back at it, man, as far as your studies. And I know that you're going to be eventually excelling with that, man. I know the plan that you have is something that's definitely worthwhile trying to achieve because these motherfuckers, they're trying to take everything that we have. But when it comes down to it, man, the tenacity and the natural creativity and the intelligence that we have within us won't allow us to fail. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but going forward with the rest of our lives. Even though it's a fucked up situation, we're making the best out of a fucked up situation, and we're living it day by day, you know, trying to survive through it. And with that being said, I'd like to end this call, and we will, again, like I said, be back next weekend. Nigel, if you got anything else you want to add on, or Night of Thunder?
Nah, that's it, bro.
Okay.
I gotta get back to do my homework.
I hear that. Yo, Nigel, you got anything else you want to say, man?
Nah, pretty much everything, man, I was gonna say.
All right, then. So if anything, Night, you already know, man, tomorrow, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we got the Wednesday appointment. You already know, the hip-hop joint. Tomorrow, I have an appointment with, I think, another TI to do a call. And Friday, you already know, Night. That's pretty much it, yo. Have a good night, everyone, and we will be back next weekend.